Okay, so we have the following. Solve the quadratic equation 3x squared plus 7x equals 2 by completing the square. So before we start this process, there's two things we gotta make sure of. One, gotta make sure that all the terms containing x are on one side of the equation, which they are in this case. The 3x squared and the 7x are on one side, and all the constants are on the other side, okay? And we do have that. And if it's not the case that you have this condition met, then just go ahead and add or subtract whatever is necessary to one side to get all the x's together and the constants on the other. All right, second thing you gotta make sure is that the x squared coefficient is 1. In this case, it is not. So what you have to do is you have to divide everything by 3 here, which we will do. And if you do that, then you come up with x squared plus 7/3 x equals 2/3. And once you establish that, you can go ahead and go through the process. The first thing we'll do is we'll grab the coefficient of x, which we usually call b, which is 7/3. What we'll do with that coefficient is we're going to divide it by 2. And yeah, we denote it as b over 2, or with b divided by 2 with the traditional division sign. And that's equal to 7/3 divided by 2. But because we're dealing with fractions, that divided by 2 turns into times a half, which is 7/6. And what you do is you're going to take that number, that b over 2, and you're going to go ahead and square it and add it to both sides. So one side has 7/6 squared, and the other side has 7/6 squared added. And let's pay close attention to the left-hand side. The x squared plus 7/3 x plus 7/6 all squared, that is a perfect square trinomial. When you add that b over 2 that you just squared a second ago, that's 7/6 squared. When you add it to the x squared plus 7/3 x, that makes a perfect square trinomial. And that is always the case, regardless of what numbers you have, expressions, excuse me. And that means that x squared plus 7/3 x plus 7/6 squared is equal to x plus 7/6 squared. And it's always equal to, as you see here in blue, it's x plus, in parentheses, x plus b over 2 all squared. Okay, always will factor as such. And what we'll do now is this. On the right-hand side, we have 2/3 and 7/6 squared, which turns into 2/3 plus 49/36, and we'll go ahead and add those together. And that becomes 24/36 for 2/3, excuse me, it's 24/6, plus the 49/6. So yeah, just got a common denominator. With the 2/3, we have to multiply both numerator and denominator by 12. We add those together, and you get 73/36. And the next step is, our goal here is to solve an equation, which means isolate for x. We're going to use something called the square root property, which tells us to take the square root of both sides. Once we do that, we have two solutions. X plus 7/6 equals plus or minus the square root of 73/36. We have these properties of square roots, which tell us that if you have a square root of two positive numbers, such as we have here, it's equal to the square root of the numerator divided by the square root of the denominator. And the square root of 36 is 6, and that's why that simplifies. And we have actually two equations from this. X plus 7/6 equals square root of 73/6, and x plus 7/6 equals minus square root of 73/6. And we go ahead and solve both those equations by subtracting 7/6. And finally, we make one single denominator with 6. And there we go. All right, thank you very much.